Welcome on back now, 6:44 in your Capitol Watch. President Donald Trump's State of the Union, it might be over, but analysis from the speech, that's just getting started. So let's send it over to Scripps News Group national correspondent Joe St. George in D.C. And Joe, what were some of the biggest takeaways from last night and any talks about Iran or affordability?
Well, both were big issues going into the speech. Both are big issues coming out of the speech on the minds of many in southern Colorado. Every poll that we look at shows the economy is still top of mind for so many Americans. Americans wanted to hear the president talk about affordability, and he did last night. He talked about data centers and high electricity bills. This is a big issue in Colorado right now. The president wants to work with tech companies to make sure they're paying more so that electricity costs don't get passed on to those who live near a data center being built. Additionally, the president talked about housing, another big issue in Colorado. Banning institutional investors, Congress passing legislation to ban institutional investors from buying single-family homes. That's a big real estate issue in Colorado right now. On the health care front, the president wants Congress to pass legislation to pass more money directly onto Americans so they could pay for their bills on their own. I think getting anything through Congress on health care but before the midterms is going to be tough. He may have more success in a bipartisan way on housing and electricity and data centers. Because we are Southern Colorado, right, a military-focused community, members of the military are paying attention to Iran. There is a chance that military strikes could happen in the near future. The president said this about his thinking on Iran in the State of the Union address last night. Take a listen.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
Again, President Donald Trump speaking about Iran and what may be next here. I think the speech, was a little bit of everything. There was moments of bipartisanship when the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team came out, the most patriotic, boisterous moment of the night. There were certainly partisan moments. The president saying that Democrats should be ashamed when they sat down and didn't stand up or clap when he talked about immigration and his changes at the border. Again, now we wait to see, does the president get a bump in the polls at all? Does it help Republicans as we start talking more about the midterms? And boy, there are so many consequential districts in Colorado that may just decide who controls Congress. It's going to be a big fight in Colorado that could impact who runs this place next year.
We always